We're starting to ship plants this spring from our small permaculture nursery, and what we thought we'd like to do is make a whole series of videos helping folks know what to do when they receive bare root plants. That might be from us, from Edible Acres, might be from any other nursery. Of course, everyone's got their own style of shipping. We tend to try to ship material in used plastic rather than buying brand new. We use moist sawdust to wrap things in, but it can be kind of confusing, so let's make it clear as to what to do. Well, in this case, we're going to use stinging nettles as an example. So let's say you open a box and you have inside a package that, if you've not received bare root plants before, this can be very confusing. What the heck am I supposed to do? I've got sawdust and a bunch of sticks. Well, it's actually a lot of great plant material. It just takes a little bit of work. The first thing I would encourage you to do is open it up right away when you receive these packages. If you can prioritize doing this, don't let it sit for days and days. At the very least, open them up, make sure everything looks healthy and moist. And if you want to start figuring out what's going on, you can do two things with one stroke. You take the plant material out, and what I like to do is dip it in water, and that's going to rehydrate the plants after some travels. And at the same time, it reveals a little bit more detail as to what's happening. Lo and behold, this is actually enough plant material to plant out 30 different patches of stinging nettles if we wanted. Now you could just very simply say, well, here's a chunk, let me plant that. Or you say, well, you know what, my ground is still very cold, I'm not sure where I want to plant them. That's fine. You can take a pot and make your own potting mix or buy some nice organic potting mix, ideally from somewhere local, and plant them in. So the first step, if we wanted, is if it doesn't fit the pot nicely, you can trim the roots back a little bit. These plants are still quite dormant, so a little bit of root pruning is actually quite nice. If you wanted to really milk the package, you could crack off pieces, so things like mint or nettles, other herbaceous plants, you can take divisions as long as there's a stem with roots and some growth. You could pot up just one of them in a pot, give that a good watering, and then keep that somewhere like a sunny window or a greenhouse until things are warmer. You could take a big patch like this. If you don't know which way to orient it, generally just lay it on its side and cover lightly. Let me get a little more soil. And the plants will figure themselves out. That's even fine. A good watering, maybe a little mulch on top. But again, the idea is when you get your package of plants, your bare root plants from us or anywhere else, give them a good soaking. Get the sawdust off, get a sense of what's happening, and then either plant them out or take some further divisions if you want. We tend to break the plants down into nice units that are ready to be planted, but you're always welcome to get more out of it if you want. If I do want to plant them out, now that I've given them that soak and they're hydrated, I can go into the garden, work up the soil a little bit. Here in central New York, it was 26 degrees last night, but the sun is strong enough here in early spring that the ground thaws out. Hey, little friend, let's get you covered with some mulch. And you can, even though we're still having freezing nights, these hardy perennial plants absolutely can get established this time of year. Here's one little...
The shadow is making it really hard. It's my shadow and your shadow.
Avoid shadows for your plants. But here's one piece where it's just a single root and some leaves, and I can settle that in and plant it. And so what was on the surface an old plastic bag filled with dust and debris is actually many, many plants and a whole thicket of food and medicine that will last for years and years to come. And of course you want to mark it. And mulch. So you can add some wood chips or sawdust, some old leaves. I'll just grab some old leaves laying around and tuck our new friends in. And that, in a nutshell, are two different ways you can handle getting bare root plants from our nursery. Either pot them up and keep them warm and sunny, or plant them out even if the ground is a little crusty and icy. Perennials love to get established while they're dormant. That's a quick primer on bare root establishment of plants that you may get in the mail. Thanks for watching.